I cannot explain how excited I am to make this video, because if you guys have been rocking with my channel for quite some time, you'd know that there's two types of content I make. There's the NBA news, the NBA trade rumors that I make, that I've been making over the past month because the trade deadline's coming around. And then there's, of course, the analysis videos that I typically make when a player debuts for the first time, or a player is making their debut on a new team for the first time after a trade. And I don't typically make these type of videos until it's like the beginning of the NBA season, but due to this extenuating circumstance that revolves around Zion Williamson, I have the pleasure of making this video now. Now, guys, in the past, we've talked about how important this debut is and how Zion's fit has a dramatic effect on multiple members of the New Orleans Pelicans organization. If the Pelicans are currently trying to fight for the 8th seed in the Western Conference, which, if you ask me, is kind of ironic, because if they kept Zion in, I feel like they would have been able to beat a team that's ahead of them in the competition for the 8th seed in the Western Conference playoffs. We've talked about this before. If everything goes according to plan, JJ Redick is going to stay on the Pelicans and also hopefully keep his playoff streak alive. Derek Favors is also going to stay on the Pelicans. You're going to see Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram still being integrated as part of the core for the future for the Pelicans. And dude, I'm not gonna lie, call me crazy, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. I'm getting, young, like 2012 OKC Thunder vibes from this team. I feel like that's their potential, because a lot of people make this mistake of thinking, and this is myself included, a lot of people compare Zion Williamson to LeBron James and automatically assume that he's going to be a ball dominant forward. But no, he's not. He does have similar attributes to LeBron James, but I don't think he needs to necessarily dominate the ball to make a difference. So I'm going to jump into this analysis. I'm going to tell you guys 6 takeaways that I found from this entire debut, and this is after rewatching it 5 times, and I have little bits that I really want you guys to pay attention to. Now guys, really quickly, your boy's gone full-time on YouTube, so if you watch a lot of my content, you haven't subscribed yet, please take a minute to subscribe and turn on my notifications. I also made an NFL news channel called Microphone, and I'm going to start uploading all of the content you see on YouTube also to Instagram TV. So if the amount of ads on my YouTube content drive you crazy, just go to Instagram TV. There's like no ads on it whatsoever. My Instagram is @Theflightmike, and even cooler, a lot of you guys have been seeing my face on Instagram, and I've been wondering what my workout routine's like, so I started posting my workouts onto TikTok. My TikTok's also @Theflightmike. I warned you guys about this, man. Full-time Mike is here, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with it, guys. Now, let me tell you the very first obvious thing that I noticed when Zion came out to play, and this is something that anyone could have told you, bro. Like, honestly, we all knew that Zion Williamson was going to be a phenomenal rebounder, but I didn't think it would be to this extent. This guy was out rebounding people that were 2 inches taller than him, and he was out rebounding people that were boxing him out. There was times where Jakob Poeltl and Marco Bellinelli were literally double teaming him on a box out, and Zion would jump over them and grab the rebound. So the very first thing I noticed right off the bat is his ability as a rebounder, and this is what kind of drew those Julius Randle comparisons. And I honestly think Zion and Julius Randle are very similar, although I would say Zion is like Julius Randle plus. And I'll tell you how in a second. A part of it has to do with that 3-point shooting as well. But the very next thing that I noticed, and this is right off the bat actually, we could tell why Zion was on a minutes restriction. He played about 18 minutes in his debut, scored 22 points, 17 of it came in the 4th quarter, and we're gonna get to that, but we could see why he was on a minutes restriction. He didn't really seem like his uber athletic self. And what I mean by that is he wasn't jumping out of the gym. There were times where he was able to crash the boards really well. He was able to get some putbacks, but we didn't see that uber athletic Zion Williamson that we saw at Duke University. Now, again, this was his first game back. This is his first game returning from injury, so we shouldn't put too much stock into this, but this is something that we should definitely try to monitor for the future. Is this the new Zion? Is this the Zion that we should expect down the line? Did the torn meniscus, hamper his athleticism at all a little bit, or is he just trying to tone it down in order to fully make sure that he could prolong his career? If you ask me, I don't think he's trying to tone it down at all, because when Alvin Gentry took him out, Zion had this to say. Zion said that he's only 19 and it's really hard for him to come out of the game when it's that close. Bear in mind, the Pelicans could have potentially won that game if Zion was still in. He said it's very hard, but in that moment, I'm not thinking about longevity. I'm thinking about winning that game. And it was very tough. And I don't blame him, man. He definitely wanted to do whatever it takes to win the game for the Pelicans, but you could tell that I don't think he's trying to tone down the athleticism at all. No player is thinking, I'm about to go for this crazy dunk, but I should chill out a little bit so I can make sure that my career could be prolonged or something like that. No player thinks that. It's a very adrenaline-filled, spur-of-the-moment type thing, but it's still something that we should look at and monitor consistently. Now, the next thing I want to bring to your attention, and this is terrifying, man. This is pretty much where the title of this video is probably going to come from, is the three-point shooting. Now, bear in mind, I think there's two things that contributed to his ability to make threes. And the first thing is, again, I thought Zion was going to be some sort of Ben Simmons or Julius Randle hybrid, but this is how he takes himself out of the Julius Randle conversation. Julius Randle, and bear in mind, I'm a Laker fan, so I've been saying this for the longest time. The one thing that has been holding Julius Randle back from becoming an all-star is making three-pointers at a consistent rate. But Julius can't do that. And Zion Williamson, for some reason, I understand they were wide open threes. I understand all he was doing for the past couple of months, and all he could do for the past couple of months was shoot threes. But Zion Williamson, if he's able to make those threes at a consistent rate, then he is going to be absolutely terrifying to guard. I'm talking about, there was this one year when LeBron James was a member of the Miami Heat. This is the 2012 to 2013 NBA season. This was the year that LeBron James shot 41% from three. And if Zion gets even close to that, if Zion gets to if he gets to a 38% or a 37% career three-point percentage, this guy is going to be absolutely terrifying to guard. And here's the scary thing. You remember Phil Handy? The guy that was in charge and the mastermind that was pretty much behind the fact that Lonzo Ball was able to change his weird, disgusting, ugly-looking jump shot to a pretty nice-looking jump shot now? Dude, that guy, who is also responsible for making Tyreke Evans somewhat respectable from three-point land, that guy is the shooting coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. I can't help but think that Phil Handy played a huge role in Zion Williamson's development as a jump shooter, because he's already made more threes than he has in Duke, and he's already doubled the amount of threes that Ben Simmons has hit this year in 44 games.
Ben Simmons.
But there's way more that I just gotta bring to your guys' attention, guys, and it's the fact that if you guys watched the Lakers at all last year, I felt like the Lakers squandered a huge opportunity by not playing LeBron James at the 5 position, with Ingram at the 3, Kuzma at the 4, Lonzo at the 1, and the 2 doesn't really matter. That was a huge opportunity squandered where we could have seen some great small ball featuring LeBron James at the 5. But the New Orleans Pelicans have that same unique opportunity just by running Zion Williamson at the center position. Because just imagine Zion at the 5, Ingram at the 4, Drew Holiday at the 2. Man, if you really want to mess with some people, I think you could even throw Lonzo in there. You could throw Redick in there. There's so much potential to mess with the small ball lineup, and Alvin Gentry is primarily a small ball head coach. He comes from the Mike D'Antoni coaching tree. He was a assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors underneath Steve Kerr. He is a huge disciple of the up-tempo, fast-paced small ball type of game. And I just can't help but feel like he has all the tools to finally unleash a terrifying small ball lineup upon the NBA. Now, the final thing that we need to bring to your attention, and let me know in the comments any other takeaways I may have missed. I rewatched that game, guys, over and over and over again, just to make sure I was able to highlight all these points. If I'm not able to show the highlight footage, by the way, guys, it's because, you know, copyright claims and whatnot. But the final thing I want to point to your attention is we may not have noticed this so much because his teammates were 0 for 4 off of 3-pointers that were assisted by Zion Williamson, but he is a very excellent playmaker. He creates plays in a very similar way that LeBron James does. Very typical, yo, I'm huge, I'm gonna drive it in, you better have 3 people guarding me in the paint, otherwise I'm gonna get what I want, which leaves everyone who's a shooter wide open around the perimeter. So Drew Holiday, Lonzo Ball, and JJ Redick are about to feast if Zion Williamson is driving it in. I feel like the Pelicans can really do some damage in the playoffs this year. Let me know if you think they'll even make it to the playoffs. I'm your boy, The Flight Mike, and I'll catch you guys later.